So we talked to Jonathan Perry a little bit earlier today, a state senator, who says, legislation will take a little bit of work, but in the area where we live, and as much good as the boaters that we call the Cajun Navy that love to go into these areas, we saw it with Katrina, we saw it with Rita, into these low-lying areas and help rescue people. We talked to one guy who lives in the, the place down on E. Broussard Road, almost to Vero, not Beaver Creek, Beaver Run. Okay. One of those down there. Boulder Creek. Excuse me. Boulder Creek.
Yes.
I kept wanting to say Denver Creek, but another city in Colorado. Okay, anyway, Boulder Creek. And he said he rescued, hundreds of people. Yeah. Him with a group of about 5 guys. They just spent a couple days going to all those areas. Now we heard of other places. See, he just launched his boat in his neighborhood. Right. It was so flooded, okay? But we had some people who wanted to go to the areas around central Louisiana or into Crowley, and
they got turned around just like the Katrina situation.
How do we handle this? He suggests a training, permitting, something in the way that we treat volunteer firefighters who aren't professionals, but they are there to help, especially in rural areas. Warren, let's start with this.
In answer to that interview that I heard on the radio this morning, I have one comment to make, and then I'm going to follow it up with a little explanation. And my point is, are we that sick as a society?
Yes.
Are we absolutely that sick as a society that the answer to people helping people in a disaster is another government bureaucracy, another government program? I mean, my God, you sit there and say, well, the Cajuns know how to rescue people. Yankees know how to rescue people. Asians know how to rescue people. Even Syrians know how to rescue people. My God Almighty, if I'm sitting there in a house that's flooded and I'm
sitting there, you have to have Good Samaritan legislation.
I'm sitting there on a rooftop or whatever. The last thing I'm going to do when somebody pulls up, I don't care if they're in a bass boat, a pirogue, a john boat, on a jet ski, or an inner tube. Mm-hmm. And they say, "Oh man, you need a ride to dry land." The last thing I'm going to do is say, "Show me your permit. I need to see your license that you got that says you're trained to help me get on that inner tube and ride away with you."
But that's what they're worried about.
Who?
Because when you...
Are we that sick?
Yes,
that
we are.
We're sitting there worrying about
the same thing happened this time.
What we need.
As happened last time. Yes.
What we need is what
Don't you remember what the Good Samaritan law was for originally?
Yes, ma'am,
because somebody gave resuscitation to somebody and it went wrong.
May I please have the floor?
Oh, it did, yes. In the carpet and everything.
What we need is exactly that. It says you can't hold somebody liable for helping you out in a disaster.
Good Samaritan law. That's all you need.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of us don't understand what that term means, but well,
that somebody who tries to help some high-powered attorney doesn't come in and say, "But you damaged my client."
Well, along with that, what we need is another law that says if somebody comes in and tries to bring a lawsuit like that, that's a criminal act, punishable by. Where's Lewis
by
Kellogg?
What? I was about to say,
where's Lewis Kellogg when I need him?
You're beginning to sound a little bit like Warren. I got to tell. I don't want to burst your bubble, but you are beginning to sound a little bit like Mr. Kellogg.
Uh-oh.
You're channeling Mr. Kellogg.
Great man, great American.
He was a good man. He really was. He did get a little exercised at the council meetings, but he was a good man. You do need a good. We're having too much fun. All right. You do need a Good Samaritan law. I agree with that. Just like the doctors have when they go to treat patients if they see somebody on the side of the road or in distress or whatever. And my husband was in the legislature when they passed that law because there were some stupid lawsuits filed against people. But this whole idea of setting up another government bureaucracy to permit every Cajun
No. Now, I'm saying...
Isn't that what he said?
But
that's what Jonathan Perry said.
Because right now, they're being turned away.
Well, I know.
Okay, then let's just take it back then. How do we prevent them from being turned away?
You can't without some sort of protection. And my thing being, and Jonathan understands this, the way we need to write it is if you want to volunteer, because I can tell you, if I had a boat, I'd be volunteering. Would I pay $130 to register? Heck yes, I would. Same way I registered for my concealed carry.
Why do we have to have that kind of... $130.
Because that's the world we live in, and that's why Department of Wildlife and Fisheries...
Well, what did the guys in the Cajun Navy do?
Stop.
They found a way. They found another way, and they got in there, and they helped.
And that's
but I guess
true.
the issue,
and you got to watch that movie. It is great.
The issue is why should they have to find another way that might be 5 miles away?
Exactly.
When you have a state trooper who's not letting them in because not because
maybe
there's
a little
anything
common
wrong.
sense would help.
But there's not anything wrong with
There's
them.
no common sense in government. Come on.
That's their
That's why we need all those
directive.
damn laws.
If we go back a few years when they had the Ruby Ridge standoff, where the FBI went out there and the sharpshooter shot the woman through the head while she's holding the baby. What did they do there? They wrote what they call rules of engagement for the FBI while they were en route. And they got it signed off on and basically said, we're changing our rules. You can do the same thing on this kind of a deal. All they got to do is whoever's in charge of wildlife and fisheries, the state of Louisiana, whatever, says you just void these rules. If anybody wants to go out there in their boat and help, you don't interfere with
it. Now here's the thing. That all is going to be researched. He already contacted the Senate person. They're going to be looking into all of it. Because that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to find the easiest, most efficient way.
And I will say this.
So you see, government causes the problem, and now government is going to step in and make us pay to solve their stupidity.
Let me say this, Bernie. Let me say this real quick.
Bernie has taken Mike Stagg's position on this show.
In defense
no.
Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on. I know we're winging it. In defense of Jonathan Perry, he wasn't saying either that we had to have this bureaucracy. He is only giving a solution for us that we said is the problem. Bernie, you got pop that pill over there, Bernie, before you jump across that desk at Warren.
Dude.
Okay, we got to wrap this one up for time.
It's a good thing we're friends because, ow.
Can we all agree? Let's do this.
He didn't say I look like him. That's what I thought he said at first.
He
didn't say that I look like him.
Give me a show of hands.
You have much better hair.
Who thinks that people?
We cannot wrap up this topic.
I know. Hold on, guys. Who thinks in this room that people should be able? Does anyone disagree? Just get in their boat wherever they can in times of emergency like this and rescue people if they're able. Right? We all agree.
Okay,
Yes.
wait.
We all agree.
All agree but Bernie.
Wait, we do agree. And if I have to be Mike Stagg, I do want to say this. I understand it's Department of Wildlife and Fisheries that makes this determination. That's the law enforcement agency. And here's why. And this will make complete sense to you because this is common sense. Because Wildlife and Fisheries doesn't want to have to go in and save you when you get stuck because you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, okay.
That's the problem with it. Wildlife and Fisheries is trying to get people out of their houses. And let's say you are somebody like me and I go grab a boat and I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
and my heart is in the right place.
I know, but this is a solution in search of a problem.
It is.
It is because Wildlife and Fisheries get so overwhelmed and everybody else gets so overwhelmed.
And we know
in these
that.
kind of deals.
That's why we got to come up with something.
Who wants to help should be allowed to help.
And I'm with you.
And some of those people are going to lose their lives out there trying to help save somebody else's life.
I agree.
We know that.
I totally agree.
And they take that under consideration.
I totally agree.
All right, let's let our listeners weigh in on this. The phone number is 232-1542. Hey, good morning. You're on Wingin' It Wednesday. Your thoughts?
Look, let's just be real. With all we've seen this past few years, the government no longer wants neighbor to help neighbor. The government wants everyone to rely on the government.
Yes,
it's all
indeedy.
about government control.
Here.
Yes.
Thank you for your comments. Let's move on, Bernie. Next call. Good morning. You're on Wingin' It Wednesday.
We have brilliant listeners.
Go ahead.
The most.
I got a solution. All I had to do is have a sticker put on the boat.
Yeah.
That would tell the purest person that's taking care of watching so they could let him go.
Yep.
We ought to have that
All right,
sticker.
thank you. Yeah, I mean, just
Called
like you have
Louisiana
your
registration.
That's what I'm saying. So you have another sticker next to
No,
it.
you don't need another sticker. The man is shown. He's
Basically, Warren's just saying maybe that should just be
And
included
he's
in
calling
registering
me
your
Mike
boat.
Stagg?
When you register your boat,
No.
that comes along with it.
No. I can register a boat. That doesn't mean I should go in and try to rescue somebody.
Nothing says you
I
should.
do not have enough skill to do that. I mean, look at me.
You don't?
Let's take two more calls before he has to take a break.
Oh, my Lord.
Well, think about it.
Mike Stagg.
Okay.
If you call
232
me Mike Stagg one more time, we are not friends.
I'm close enough. I'll slap him
and you
for
get no more cookies. No more cookies.
232-1542. 232-1542. Good morning. You're on Acadiana's Morning News.
Yeah, and I agree. You register your boat one time. You don't have to register yourself. That does registering yourself and with another sticker doesn't do anything. But there's this catch-all phrase that covers that. Free men don't ask permission. We have it. It's ours. The government doesn't give us anything.
Okay,
Another
thank you.
brilliant
And that
caller.
sounds
Yeah, but-
wonderful. And that sounds
until-
wonderful and fine and good until the Department of
there's,
Wildlife
I was
and
about to say,
Fisheries
until there's an
turns
armed
you
law
around.
officer that says,
Right.
no, you can't.
Right, and it's true. I mean, that guy is right.
Let's take one more call, and then we got to
That's
get a
the way
break
it
in for
should be,
time.
but that's not the way it is anymore.
Good morning. You're on Wingin' It Wednesday on KPEL.
Hello, Harold Shupwood.
Go ahead with your comments.
You're talking about the rescue and the need to register people to go rescue others. I've been involved in this issue all my life. I'm 76 years old. Nobody thinks that they're going to have their boats around to go rescue people. These things occur, and you have boats, and you're able to help serve, you go do it. Nobody's paying for your gas. Nobody's paying for your main propellers and
Exactly.
getting concrete and so forth. People do that out of their friendliness and willingness to help others in desperate need.
Uh-huh.
And if I had to register to do that, I'm afraid I wouldn't do it.
Well, no, I understand, and I get where you're coming from. I'm talking about all the hundreds of people who have been turned away from Department of Wildlife and Fisheries,
Bernie,
other law enforcement.
Give up, Bernie.
No, I refuse to. I will not give up. Absolutely not. No, ma'am. If that makes me Mike Stagg, none of y'all are getting cookies today.
No
chocolate chip cookies for y'all.
Bernadette, please listen. That was not me saying that. Remember that.
That's
I want my
true.
cookies.
Yeah, Carol gets the cookies. Warren, I may cut off his coffee too.
It is
I don't know.
7:38. Wingin' It Wednesday, brought to you by Service Cadillac. Every week, I don't know if they knew what they were getting into.
Go tell Mike Stagg you want some cookies.
All the action every week. Brought to you by Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Wingin' It Wednesday continues next.